Hi, tonight I'm going to share with you something that is very crazy, but it's very funny at the same time. Now let me explain you. 2 months ago, when my little brother was here, I received a new shelf for my books. And while we were moving books from my old shelf to the new one, I found this little notebook, which I used around 7 years ago, and which contains all the dreams I wrote down at a given time, because I used to have this right by my bed, and whenever I woke up every morning I would write down what I had just dreamt. So it has very, very crazy stuff, and I just reread it, and fortunately I did, because I had to more or less translate in my mind what was written, and besides, not all of it is just as hilarious. So I made a special selection just for you, so that you can make fun of me, of my twisted mind. But it's not twisted, but it's really funny, you'll see. First dream. I live alone in a modern house with my mom, who is a beautiful woman that I don't know. And we get along very well, but there's a certain rivalry between us. I need to be analyzed, really. Another dream. I have a date at a restaurant with the ex-boyfriend of a friend of mine, and I feel uncomfortable. And afterwards he takes me to the first floor, that happens to be his home or something, and I chat with what seems to be his family. But suddenly I realized that I forgot something, and I go back home running. But when I run, it's like I'm crawling and running at the same time. Isn't it weird? It's like those Japanese terror films, you know. I'm worried. I was worried when I read this. The whole little notebook is quite disturbing. And I run. Listen to this. I run through streets that seem to be the ones here in Geneva, but I arrive to one of the houses I lived in when I was little, and by the time I go and ring the doorbell, the house has already transformed into another one of the houses I lived in. It's my little brother that opens the door, there's my grandmother, and suddenly I have in my arms Benito, my cat, but it is white in my dream. Go wonder why. There's nothing white about you. White is the color of innocence, and you're not innocent, my dear. Another one. This one was a bit moving for me. I am with my little brother, who is a little boy. I always dreamt of my brother as a little boy before he came and spent a whole month here with me. Because subconsciously I couldn't accept the fact that he had grown up. So in my dreams he was always a little boy or even a baby. But after he came and spent a whole month here with me, I no longer had those dreams. It's funny, isn't it? So he's a little boy here, and we're together in some kind of violin class for little children, and suddenly we see a little handicapped boy, and my brother, when he sees him, he starts crying because he feels sad about him. And I hug him, I kiss him, and I talk to him about what I think about life. This is very interesting because I wish I had written down what I thought about life then. What is it that I told him? Another last one. This is the most hilarious one. We're traveling in a little van with my dad, my grandfather, my two sisters, and me around Europe. And we see up in a hill that there's been some sort of fire, and we go and check what happened. But finally, it's a place where we can get into. It's some sort of old house where hippies lived. And everybody walks around it. I am a bit worried because I think it's dangerous. And then everybody goes to the back garden, which is full of very tall grass, and they start smoking. And I want to leave, but they don't want to. And that's more or less the end of my dream. So you see, it's all sort of crazy stuff. And I had a lot of fun reading it. When I read it for the first time when my brother was here, and we just couldn't stop laughing. But now that I read it again, my cat is climbing up the shelf. Now that I read it again, I was really worried, and you can see why. But it's still funny, so I hope you were entertained. Have a good evening, because here it's quite late already, and see you next time. Bye bye.